Hypixel Skyblock, a brand new addictive game mode full of content expanding on the classic Skyblock experience, currently exclusive on Hypixel, but not for long. Hey guys, BlueCommander here, and in this series I'm going to be taking my command block, data pack and resource pack skills as far as I can to try to create some of my best work to date. Through this series, I'll be documenting and showcasing my progress on completing a complete replica of Hypixel Skyblock, such as all the islands, the menu and its contents, all the new items, minions, the auction house, a custom health system, the custom mobs, and everything in between using just vanilla Minecraft. Very quickly, as this is the first episode, let's run a quick FAQ. Why are you copying Hypixel? I know there's some controversy with servers copying other game modes, but I want to let you all know I absolutely love Hypixel and their Skyblock game mode, and I'm simply doing this out of passion, and I want to see how I can overcome all the challenges which will be ahead. Are you releasing this? As I'll probably be downloading the Hypixel Skyblock worlds for this recreation in future episodes, if that's allowed, I'm not sure, so I wouldn't really feel comfortable releasing it without the explicit permission of someone working at Hypixel, because as I said, I only have good intentions with this, but if I can't release complete final product, I'll probably still release like the parts I've coded myself. Could you remind us how to subscribe? Well, as you asked so kindly, it's just that big button down there. Hello, who's there? Stop self-promoting? I'd never self-promote, how dare you? So in this first episode, I'm going to begin the project working on the menu, as you can see in the 9th slot. At the end of the video, you can all vote on what I should work on next using the cards. So let's quickly get an idea for what we're trying to make. As you can see, a menu pops up when you right click, and there's a bunch of stuff in here to check out, like skills, collection, recipes, etc. Then you can open different pages by just clicking on items. So I'm going to get into single player and start testing out some things. Back in a second. Okay, so first of all, I began by making these compass items in your 9th slot. It's currently completely pointless, but then I decided to create some versions of the menus in double chests. I also moved these chests into my data pack by using /data_get_block, but then it became apparent to me that I could place a double chest on top of a player who has their 9th slot, but this will come with many drawbacks, such as the player will have to look up, as if they place a chest inside of themselves, they're going to have to go into crawl mode. It will also replace the block next to them because it's a double chest, and ultimately it'll look really ugly. So with that out of the question, it really only leaves one other option, chest minecarts. This provides us with a built entity that won't replace any blocks. The problems with this is the fact that only a single chest can be inside the minecart. I don't think this is a massive problem though, as I can just try to overcome this by shrinking down all the menus, as most of them have spare space anyway. Also, another problem is that they're currently visible, so as you can see the chest minecart, but I've come up with a way to try to hide this minecart visibility. First of all, we can hide the chest by setting a custom display tile entity, like so. But we're still left with one big problem, the minecart can still be seen. I tried to get rid of it with invisibility potion effects, but as you can see, they don't work on minecarts. I could just remove the minecart texture from the resource pack, but then all minecarts will be invisible, which isn't really what we wanted. Luckily, after some deep thinking, I remembered that if you have Optifine installed, resource packs support custom textures with mobs with custom names. So now, if I just enable this resource pack, it's completely invisible, whereas normal minecarts are still unaffected. This does mean that this creation requires Optifine, but as Optifine's so widely used, I don't think it's that big of an issue. Now I'm going to make these appear and disappear when you hold the 9th slot, and also make them follow you. Okay, I've done a lot since then. Let me quickly reload and I can show you what I've been doing. So first of all, as you can see, this project's been separated into modules which I can enable and disable. This will be good for performance testing and bug fixing, as there's going to be a lot of content in this pack, so I need to make sure everything's as lightweight as I possibly can. Anyway, first of all, when I select the item, right clicking now works. You can also walk around with it and then right click again, and the minecart will follow you around. All players now also have a unique ID, which is used to make sure the minecart follows the correct player. So this is also multiplayer compatible. I also made lots of menu buttons functional to move between pages. I haven't done every page and button yet for obvious reasons, but the player HUD displays this page, as you can see, like it does on Hypixel. Although just a note, while looking at this, all the numbers and descriptions of items don't actually have a way of updating yet. So right now, as you can see, it says a health 100 HP. This is just a static number, so it can't actually change. Also, you can see it displays the skin in the head. I used a loot tables trick from my player head tricks video, so that's how that works. I think it's really cool. The back arrow and close buttons also work on every single page, although I don't really get the purpose of a close button, but you know, we'll have it for consistency. The skills main page opens, but you can't go on any of the skill pages yet. The collection main page opens, and I've even added category menus for each of these. Obviously I couldn't fit them all onto one page, as right now it's just a single chest size, but I've also added up and down arrows to see all the collection items. And also, by the way, I haven't added the collection pages for each item yet. Next, the recipe main page works, although this spare cap really annoys me, but I wasn't really sure what else I should have done, so please let me know in the description if you've got any better ideas. The trades pages are also added, although there isn't a way of unlocking the trades yet. By the way, the reason these two are actually showing up is because on Hypixel, they actually get them for free when you start up if you didn't know. And quest log, upcoming events, ender chest, crafting table, and this teleport item don't actually do anything yet. I also haven't added some of the other buttons needed yet, such as the quiver bag, talisman bag, and the bank, as you can normally unlock them afterwards. So I'm really keen on implementing this vanilla ender chest next, as I've told several people about this being my next plan, and they all told me this would be impossible, but let's give it a try. Okay, first of all, what I've done is made it reset the page and remove all items when you click on the ender chest, so it gives you a blank canvas to work with. Also, it copies the player's ender chest to the menu using /data modify, so if I add something in this chest, as you can see, it'll appear here too. That's the easy part done. Where the problem arises is storing this actual fake ender chest back into the normal ender chest, because right now when I close this menu, all the items and data I added are completely gone. I can't use /data modify for that, as you can't edit player data, so the only way of doing this right now is going to be /replace item. However, that means I'll have to hard code every item for every single slot, and even then, custom MBT won't work. So I'm really going to have to try to think about a solution to this problem, as it's going to be a tough one. Never mind everyone, I've just had an absolutely amazing idea, if I don't mind saying, the /loot command. I remember watching a 𝐿𝐴 video where he used stored player data using shulker boxes, edited it, and then gave it back to them. So I thought I'd try this with the same technique with an ender chest, and sure enough it works. And it's efficient too, it only uses 2 extra commands when removing the menu. One moves the chest minecarts inventory to a shulker box near the void by the world border, and the second command uses /loot to move the shulker box to the real ender chest. As you can see, if I quickly reload my modules, it works really well. It supports any item, MBT, and works with any ender chest you open in your world. I'm going to leave this here for this video. I really hope you all enjoyed. If you did, please leave a vote on a card what I should do next, and also give this video a like so I know you want to see more. I make lots of command creations all the time on my channel, so it'd really mean a lot to me if you could check out some of my other uploads. I'm also trying to expand my Twitter audience, so if you have Twitter, I post lots of sneak peeks. For example, you would have seen this menu last week. I also posted about these glowing blocks upcoming in more blocks v3, and also this random unreleased Steve mob which I have no clue why I created. So I'd love if you could give me a follow, as I'll be posting lots of content, and I'll even post sneak peeks for this. Anyway, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!